Question I always get asked about hiking, and especially solo hiking, people seem to be really scared of snakes. You know, there's a lot of drama and stories that come with snakes, and everyone loves to tell it, oh, this snake chased me for miles and da 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 da, and you know, those hero stories. And for me to feel comfortable out here hiking, especially on my own, I decided to do a bit of research into it. And from that research and doing this amazing course I did with work a few years back, I learnt, you know what, like snakes, they don't want to eat us. You know, their main prey is like a frog or a mouse. They don't want to attack something our size. And on this course, it was quite amazing. They, you know, had a snake there and they just threw, say, a jumper or something on the ground, and boom, the snake would just always go for that and try and hide and try and get away from you. And I think any time a snake would actually strike at you or chase you, it's because they're feeling completely threatened, and it's their last sort of ditch effort to get away from you. The other really cool thing I learnt is, you know, like they hear like the most venomous snakes, you know, some of the most venomous snakes in the world, da 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 da, and yes, that's true, but once again, their prey is these tiny frogs and tiny mice, and the venom is actually quite precious to them. And so, if you do get bitten by a snake, sometimes they won't even inject. But then there's a few simple steps you can take to not get bitten by a snake. You know, like keep an eye out where you're putting your feet, and say if there's a log there, don't tread over there because the snake could be there and you'd scare it, and boom, it could bite in that way.
Go up, look, and down.
But then also just wearing long pants is a huge one. I always pretty much hike with gaiters. That just gives me that little bit of extra protection. And then the other profound thing that I learned on this course is that, say like a brown snake's fangs are about 1 millimeter long. So it's not like these massive needle fangs that are going into you. They're these tiny, tiny, tiny fangs. And so to get through all those layers is actually quite difficult. So the chances tend to be quite slim, and most of the snake bites in Australia happen with people who are trying to either capture it or they're trying to get too close. So just give the snakes their space and you should not have any problems whatsoever. If all these calamities actually do come together and you do happen to get bitten by a snake, the treatment is, you know, really quite a strong and effective treatment. Putting on the snake bandage, the pressure immobilization bandage. I love those ones that have the little rectangles. When you pull them, they turn to squares, so you know you got the pressure right. I always carry 2 in my pack, so you just wrap the entire limb and don't move. Press your personal locator beacon, try and contact help. It would be horrible if you got bitten by a snake, but to be honest, there's a very good treatment. The chance of getting bitten are extremely slim. The chance of dying from it, if you treat it properly, are even more remote. You know, and once again, like we love these hiking stories of this, I came around this corner and this snake struck at me and it was da 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 da. And, you know, I've definitely told those stories, but maybe we shouldn't be telling them, because I think the poor snakes get a bit of a bad rap. One of my favourite stories is my friend, she was actually walking around and she trod on a brown snake. She didn't realise she was treading on it. And she just felt something under her foot like wiggle, and she looked down and the poor snake was like trying to get away, like, but it couldn't get away. And she was like, whoops, sorry. It shot off. So please respect the snakes, they're beautiful creatures. Yeah, the Australian bush gets a hard bash about being so hardcore and crazy, but you know, there's nothing that's going to eat you in your sleep.